Hello people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Minalkhona. Today we are going to discuss about a accounting software which is QuickBooks. Before we start the topic of today, if you are interested in learning Tally Prime in detail with shortcuts, you can refer to the playlist on the channel. Also, do like, comment and share it with your friends so that more people can benefit from learning the accounting softwares in detail. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. And you can refer to several accounting videos in detail. If you're interested in learning something more related to the subject, you can also comment on the video. We are discussing about QuickBooks accounting software. Now, QuickBooks accounting software is a product of Intuit Incorporation. This company is registered in USA. In USA, you will find a desktop version of QuickBooks. Apart from the desktop version, QuickBooks accounting software is also present in many countries as an online cloud version. Now, when you talk about online cloud version, the first requirement would be the internet connectivity. Like you use your Gmail or any kind of mail facility, the same way you can go online and you can start working on your accounting. You can maintain your books of accounts on cloud. What are these countries or which are these countries where QuickBooks is available? So let's check what are these countries. So here I can see in Asia Pacific, these are the countries where QuickBooks is available. Here I can also see India. So apart from India, in Asia Pacific, these are all the countries where QuickBooks is available. Apart from Asia Pacific, Africa. So in Africa, so many countries are included in Africa. Middle East. So in Middle East, South America, North America, and Europe. So these are the countries where QuickBooks is giving its services at present as online QuickBooks accounting software. The software is promoted for, or rather advertised for, specially writing or maintaining accounts for trading and services industry for small businesses. Since it was launched, it has always been promoted and it has been proven to be useful software for maintaining accounts for small businesses related to trading and service industry. Why is this important and why are we studying it today? Now, this is a very interesting point here, which is what if you want to be a freelancer accountant? Now, in today's era, we have seen that you will find around you many people who want to work as a freelancer. So as a freelancer accountant, you may have to serve many clients who may be present globally. Now, if you wish to serve your clients globally, you will require a certain software, which is a common software, and you can serve all your clients. So QuickBooks accounting software we just saw is present in many countries. And because of that, it would be very useful to use this software, and this software in itself is very easy to use. So that is the reason why we are going to learn this software. What should you do to start working on QuickBooks? So you can visit intuit.com, right? Now, if you want to write accounts for Indian businesses, you can visit QuickBooks India. So if you go to QuickBooks India website, you will be able to start writing accounts for an Indian business. And if you wish to choose one of the countries which I have just shown you, in that case, you will have to go to quickbooks.intuit.com because this is a product of Intuit Incorporation. After you go to the website, you will have to log in with your credentials and you can create a new company. Now, the minute you create a new company, QuickBooks is going to ask you, what is your type of business? QuickBooks is asking you your type of business because QuickBooks is going to pre-define certain ledgers for you so that they are related to your business and you don't have to create those ledgers. So they would be pre-created for you. So certain groups and certain ledgers would be pre-created for us. All right. Now, after you log in with your credentials, what would be the home page of QuickBooks? So let's check what is the home page of QuickBooks. So this is the home page which you're going to see after you log in for writing accounts for any country. Right now, I am going to write accounts for an Indian company. If you wish to write for any other country, in that case, you will have to log in with that kind of credentials, right? Okay, the first thing after you create any company should be that you will have to set up features. Now, to set up features, which is nothing but settings, you are going to come to your right hand side and here is my option of settings. If I click on settings, here I can see account and settings. So this is my first thing which you will have to set up when you start writing accounts on any accounting software. Right. Now, when you start writing accounts on any accounting software, first is company. In company, I'm going to give the details of which company, what is your company's name, what is your industry. You will have to purchase a subscription for QuickBooks and that details will be reflected in billing and subscription. Now, coming to sales, I'm talking about features now. If you are recording sales in your system, right? Now, on the software, when you're recording any kind of sales, you will also want to print the invoice. Now, how do you want your invoice to look? So that I can click on customize look and feel. So if you click on customize look and feel, here I can see a standard default style has been given for the invoice. This is how your invoice is viewing right now. So if I click on preview, I can see the preview in PDF format. If you wish to change this, you can change this by clicking on dive in with a template, meaning I will be able to see more templates. I can also add my logo here. If I want to change colors, so I can slash some colors here. If I wish to change the font, I can change the font. EFT details, which is bank details, can be added on the invoice. You can also add stamp, signature, or QR code. Now, this is a new feature which QuickBooks is giving you. Now, this we are talking about is design. What about the content? If I wish to change the content, right now, this is a content which I'm seeing. If I click on this pencil button, I will be able to change the content. So I can change the header. I can give some phone number. I can give an email ID, business address, form. So if I want to change the form name, which is invoice, if this is a tax invoice, I'll have to say a tax invoice. Estimation. Estimation is nothing but quotation you are talking about. I can also raise quotations from QuickBooks. Sales receipt, a credit note will be headed as credit note. Form number is invoice numbers. I can also use customized transaction numbers. Now, what do I wish to display on my invoice? So, billing address is by default. I cannot change this. If I wish to see the shipping address, I can click on shipping address, terms, due date or expiration date, customer VAT number. Customer VAT number would be GST number for us, right? If I wish to change the emails, I can also change the emails or any other details which are required. Now, this is a standard format which is given by QuickBooks. I can exit without saving for now. If I do not wish to change the standard format, I have an option to add a new style. So if I click on invoice, this invoice will allow me to save or change all the details, content, email, design according to my requirement. And I can change it accordingly. So in this way, I could have several invoice patterns or styles, and I can keep them ready here. Now, this was the first thing which we were discussing in accounting and setting. So after accounting and setting, sales form content. We have seen that you always give some kind of a credit period to your debtors. Now here, by default, net 30 days has been provided. What if you want to change it? You simply have to click on this pencil button and I can change this. If you want to add new, you can add new from here. Due on receipt, net 30 is already provided here. What is your preferred delivery method? So I can print the invoice at when I am recording the sale voucher. Otherwise, I can send it later, meaning you can mail it on a later date or none. I don't want to send the invoice at present. I'll take the call later on. In that case, I can say none. If I wish to feed in any shipping details, I can put this on and I can give shipping details here. So if you are in a trading business, you will require shipping details. And if you are in a service business, possibly you may not require shipping details. Custom transaction numbers. Every transaction would have a certain invoice numbering, voucher numbers. So voucher numbers are nothing but custom transaction numbers. Service date, if I'm providing services and if I'm raising invoice, then what is the service date? On which date did I provide the services? So on the invoice, I can put this field on so that I can give a service date. If you're giving discounts, I can put this option on so that I can show the discount column on the invoice and deposit. In this way, you are changing the details of your sales form content. Now, if you're in the industry of trading, meaning you're dealing in products. So when you're dealing in products or services, and if you want to show the products and services on the invoice, I will have to say yes to the first one. Show SKU column. So if SKU column is required, I can say yes, and otherwise I can leave it to no. Track quantity and price. So usually when you're in trading business, we do want to track the quantity and price. So I can track the quantity and prices here. And I can say a yes here. Progress invoicing. Progress invoicing is if you want to create multiple partial invoices from a single estimate. Say you're saying, okay, I have provided a single estimate of 5 crores. And now I want to break this 5 crores into 5 separate invoices of 1 crore each. In that case, I'll require the option of progress invoicing. If you want to send some default messages through your email. Now, there is one very interesting point here in QuickBooks. In QuickBooks, when you're raising invoices, you can directly mail those invoices to your debtors. When you're mailing those invoices, with the invoices mailed, you can also send a default email message. So that default email message you can set up here in this field. Reminders. If you want reminders for your any default email message for your invoice reminders, or if you want to send any automatic invoice reminders to your debtors, I can put on this feature of reminders. Email options for all your invoices can be feeded in the second last column. And the last column is, or last field is very interesting, which is statement. Show aging table at bottom of statement. Now, aging table, as we all know, that is a accounts receivable aging statement. Now, this is a very important statement, even from a finalization of accounting point of view, and even from a periodic checking of your ledgers, you will require this statement of aging table. So aging table is put on for this purpose, so that at any point of time, I can refer to the aging table and find out by how many days have my debtors delayed to make the payment. So that is the aging report. Now next is expenses. Default bill payment terms. So for my bills and expenses, what is the default bill payment terms? So here nothing is said. I can say due on receipt and I can save it. If you want to record purchase orders can also be recorded on QuickBooks. So you can also record purchase orders on QuickBooks, which is again a very interesting concept. Now, apart from purchase orders, I can see here time. Now, what is this time for? Now, we know a concept of payroll, right? Now, what if you are paying your employees on the basis of the time they have billed for each of the client? So you will have to maintain the timesheet for that. So one, the very general information, which would be, what is your first day of work week? So the first day is Sunday, because I'm writing accounts in India. Here, I can also say this to be a Monday, the first work week. For now, I'm keeping it as Sunday, but you can change that by clicking on the pencil button. And timesheet. Now, timesheet is very important, like I said, from a payroll employee perspective. Show service field, meaning what services you have provided or you're billing for, or your employee is, what kind of services your employee has provided and what is it billing for. Now I have two options. One is I can write the bill rate on the bill itself. So allow time to be billable. Show billing rate to users entering time. Now either I can, whoever the employee is, he can just feed in the time which he has allocated to a client or for a client. And the second is, with the time he has allocated or spent it with a client, he will also be able to see the charges which you are going to bill to that client. So if you don't wish the employee to see the rate which you are going to charge, you can keep this option to be inactive by not clicking on it and save. All right. The last option is advanced. Now, this advanced option of settings of features is going to give you all the common details which you should know. One is accounting. What is your first month of financial year? So in different countries, you're going to see the first month of financial year can be different. You can simply click on this pencil button and you can change it. I have kept this as April. First month of tax year. Now tax year would also be same as financial year. Otherwise, you can also change it to January. Accounting method. Now there are two types of accounting method: accrual accounting method and cash accounting method. So here I have kept as accrual accounting method. After your finalization is complete, I'll have to come back to this option and say close the books so that the data is freezed. Today we are starting with writing books of accounts. Therefore, this option is not useful for us today. But after the year end, after your finalization entries are complete, you will have to come here and close the books so that the data is freezed for the previous year. Default tax rate selection. Now, the default tax rate selection depends on what kind of industry you're working in. So the rates are exclusive of tax, inclusive of tax, or out of scope of tax. So for now, we have kept them as exclusive of tax so that I can calculate GST on the rates at which you're providing the services or goods. Now, what is your company type? Now, depending on your company type, the tax form will be created. So for now, I have taken partnership or limited liability company, but I have other options, which is sole proprietor, small businesses, corporation, non-profit organization, limited liability, or if you're not sure, you can say other or not sure. Enable account numbers. Now, every ledger which you're going to create in QuickBooks, and there are certain ledgers which are going to be pre-created for you. These are known as chart of accounts. Every chart of accounts should have some kind of account number so that it is easier for you to recognize. So I'm going to keep this option to be on. All right, what are my automation options? Pre-filled forms with previously entered content. So some of the content would be pre-filled, which I'm keeping it as on. Automatically invoice unbilled activity. No, unless and until I want some invoice to be created, I don't want invoices to be created automatically. Automatically apply bill payments. Now, once you record bills, you are ought to make payments for that bills, right? Now that payment entries, either you can make it manually, or if I keep this option on, the system automatically will also record payment entries for that bills which you have booked for expenses. The default language for now I have taken as English. If you're writing accounts for different countries, in that case, your home currency would change. Here, my home currency is Indian rupee. If I'm writing accounts in multi-currency, I can say yes to this option. My other preferences of date format, number format, one, if duplicate check number is used, this should be on. Warn me when I enter a bill number that's already been used for that supplier. I can also say keep this on. One, if duplicate journal number is used. And sign me out if inactive for 1 hour. Now, this all options are important because you're working online. Because you're working online, if you are inactive for a certain time, that in that case, the system will automatically log you out. Right. Now, after you create a company, you will have to set up all these features. Only after you set up all these features by going to settings, you will be able to go ahead to write the accounts.